She's a devious diva.
Jocelyn's ambition had one criteria: avoidance of any kind of hard work at all costs.
He's an Ivy League fraud.
The potential income at his work was limited. Criminal potential, unlimited.
But when love strikes, their passion takes an even more crooked turn.
They were spending the money on indulging their every whim.
And leads to a criminal scheme that will spiral out of control.
I think the ego and everything else kicked in. We're living a life, we have control, we have the world at our feet.
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania has royal fever. Everyone wants a glimpse of Prince Charles and his wife, Camilla Parker Bowles. But 21-year-old undergrad Jocelyn Kirsch has been handpicked to get up close and personal with royalty as a member of a roundtable panel. And she'll use her best assets to charm the guests.
She had an exotic look. She had a knocked-out body. She was very, very attractive.
She carried herself like a celebrity. She wasn't satisfied to be a mere undergrad.
And this undergrad is the total package. Not just beauty, but brains.
She said that she spoke 11 languages, including Russian, Turkish, and Czech.
And even brawn.
She also said that she qualified for the Olympic Games in pole vaulting.
There's nothing Jocelyn Kirsch can't do. At least, according to Jocelyn. In reality, her fantastic facade is a complete fraud.
Is my dad ready? He's supposed to be taking me to a concert.
Jocelyn was raised in an affluent part of North Carolina. Her father was a plastic surgeon.
He's actually with a patient right now if you want to take a seat. Okay.
Jocelyn's parents separated and divorced when she was in high school.
After her parents' bitter divorce, she rarely sees her father, Lee.
Jennifer, wow. Hey. Look at you, you look great.
Thank you.
Wow.
The problem is, Lee is just not that interested in his daughter.
Her father was a person who put a lot of premium on physical beauty.
Dad.
Can't you see I have a patient?
She felt that she couldn't really snag his attention.
So, sorry about that.
That's fine.
So you look great. Come on, let's go back.
So before her sophomore year in college, Jocelyn Kirsch makes a radical decision. She wants to be the butterfly, not the caterpillar. And that means a complete metamorphosis.
She was intent on leaving the lost little girl she had always been behind and to reinvent herself into something that was totally new and better.
She starts with a new body, specifically new breasts.
As it turns out, Jocelyn's breast surgery was actually performed by her own father.
But it doesn't stop there.
My nose.
Yeah, take the mirror, look at the bump on the top.
In the end, Jocelyn agrees to everything.
Okay.
Are you ready? Nothing to be worried about.
In September of 2004, the new and improved Jocelyn Kirsch makes her big debut on campus.
Yo! See her checking me out? Totally lost it. In your dreams.
Hey guys! You look different.
She lies about the plastic surgery.
Your dad gave you a boob job. Oh my God, don't be ridiculous.
She insisted they were real, even though over the summer somehow they had become immobile, perfectly round, enormous, and they looked airbrushed, even in person.
They look fine to me, girls. Yes.
Thanks, guys.
Anytime.
Jocelyn's addiction was Jocelyn. And that monster has always got to be fed.
Jocelyn's upgraded her body. Now she needs to upgrade her lifestyle to match.
Jocelyn's ambition had one criteria: avoidance of any kind of hard work at all costs. Get it as easily as possible.
And in 2006, it couldn't get any easier. Jocelyn meets 24-year-old Ivy League graduate Ed Anderton, and he's instantly smitten.
He seemed to have been a very bright kid, grew up very successful.
Do you know how to play?
Of course, I know how to play.
All right, show me.
I will.
When Ed met Jocelyn, he was working as a financial analyst for a real estate firm. He told her he was making about $115,000 a year.
But it turns out, Ed is a liar too.
In reality, he was making about half that.
With so much in common, it doesn't take long before the couple's casual encounters turn into a torrid romance.
Once Jocelyn and Ed clicked, they really enhanced one another's personalities. Ed gave Jocelyn all the attention that she wanted, and it kind of inflamed their egos.
Jocelyn and Ed are like a match made in heaven. And soon, their lies and deceit will put people through hell. After meeting at a Philadelphia bar, Jocelyn Kirsch and Ed Anderton jump headlong into a relationship fueled by lust and lies. They're the center of attention wherever they go. Jocelyn flaunts her body. Ed flaunts his cash.
Everyone assumed that Jocelyn and Ed's lavish life was being funded by Ed's great job. They assumed that he was pulling in the big bucks.
Well, they assumed wrong. And even Ed has to come clean about his financial reality. When he can't cover a bar tab one night.
I cannot afford this.
You can't afford it. Why not?
I don't think I have enough in my card funds.
What?
Ed may be short on cash, but Jocelyn has a quick solution.
I'll take care of it.
Why? What are you gonna do?
Without missing a beat, Jocelyn steals a credit card from a complete stranger.
There was no planning, there was no forethought.
Jocelyn, what are you doing?
There was no thinking whatsoever. It was based on impulse. Let's do it now.
Can you put it all on that? Yeah, sure thing. Here you go.
Jocelyn and Ed have just discovered how easy it is to party on someone else's dime. And they're about to run up an epic tab. Pretty soon, swiping credit cards and IDs becomes a regular hobby.
They stole from anybody they literally came in contact with. If it was a social function and they could steal somebody's credit card and driver's license briefly to steal their ID, they did it. In a space of 4 weeks, they used fake application for credit cards and they ran up $19,000 worth of credit.
They spend it as fast as they steal it.
They were spending the money on indulging their every whim.
And one of those whims is a $3,000 a month apartment in a posh high-rise known as the Belgravia. Soon, the couple is spending so much time living the high life that Ed begins to neglect his work life. He starts calling in sick on a regular basis.
Hey, yeah, I just got back from the doctor. Yeah, not too great. He actually said it's a viral, it's virus. It's gonna be another 3 or 4 days. Actually, yeah, he said 5 days. Yeah, I have plenty of work to do from here, so I'll give you a call on Monday. Bye.
That's perfect.
All right. You ready?
Yes.
All right,
let's go.
They were flying off and having wonderful vacations.
Paris, the Swiss Alps, London, Turks and Caicos. And they make sure they document every moment and flaunt it on social media.
Other criminals might have made themselves inconspicuous so as not to get caught. But for Jocelyn and Ed, conspicuousness was the very point.
What's the point of being young and successful if you can't show everybody you're young and successful?
But their jet-set life is about to hit some turbulence.
Hey, what are you doing home already?
I got fired today.
It turns out Ed's bosses have noticed his sick day tans.
My boss said that he knew about the trip.
Ed is officially unemployed.
When Ed lost his job, it was as though everything he had worked for in his life, legitimately worked for, was gone.
He may have lost his job, but he's not about to give up his lifestyle.
I think when Edward lost his job, I believe he realized, you know what, I don't need the stupid job. The potential income at his work was limited. Criminal potential, unlimited. He went unlimited.
The fabulous fraudsters are about to kick it up a notch. But will the new venture pay off or cost Jocelyn and Ed everything? After getting fired from his legitimate job, Ed Anderton and Jocelyn Kirsch turned to illegitimate schemes to sustain their lavish lifestyle. Their next targets? The residents of their own apartment building, which is undergoing a massive renovation.
Edward's company had something to do with the renovation. As a result of that access, he managed to get a copy of every key to every apartment and every postal box.
Can you get the keys?
In the bold light of day, Jocelyn and Ed get to work.
Okay, let's do it.
They started with basically across the hall. Very carefully entered everybody's apartment. Went into places where documentation would be held.
If I get the social security number on it.
Then they copy or steal personal information,
I've got something from the IRS.
like credit card statements,
Awesome. Okay.
utility bills, and personal checks for bank accounts.
There was no sign of a break-in. No sign that they had been there.
They used the looted documents to steal identities, get credit, and make IDs.
They went and bought an industrial ID maker. You could put barcodes, you could put lasers, you could put chips on it.
How did those look?
I think that looked better.
Any type of ID, any type of credit card, they could create.
The duo also purchases spyware.
We believe that some of that spyware was downloaded on any computer in the building, then left unsecured. It would track your use on the internet. If you pulled up a screen that you were perusing your bank account, they would get full access to it.
What started off as a credit card stolen on a whim has turned into an elaborate web of fraud, theft, and breaking and entering.
I believe they thought they had all the control in the world. This was so easy, it was so profitable, we have the world at our feet.
But they'll soon be brought to their knees because they finally picked the wrong person to mess with. Jocelyn has decided to treat herself to some hair extensions at a high-end salon in Rittenhouse Square.
I put this over you.
During the consultation, she had said that she wanted her hair extremely long.
Is it gonna take long?
The process will cost close to $2,000 with a $500 deposit.
Some coffee for you or some magazines?
But Jocelyn's not worried about the price because she's not paying for it. She's stolen the identity and credit of a woman named Morgan Greenhouse.
All right. Looks like you're done.
Voila.
Looks so good.
Good. It looked beautiful. She loved it. It was long, it was dark, it was sexy, just the way she wanted it.
Hey!
Look at you, that looks great.
You like it?
Yeah, I like it a lot.
She did a really good job, didn't she?
Yeah, she did.
Just to pay and then we can go.
Cool.
Jocelyn pays the hefty bill with a fraudulent check.
I made it for $1,900. I put a tip in there.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right,
Have a great day.
see ya.
And then all hell breaks loose.
Honestly, it had to have been, I can't believe, 5 minutes after she left. A woman called who lived right around the corner in the Belgravia building
Hello?
and was questioning why a $500 deposit was placed on her credit card when she had never been to my salon.
You're telling me this wasn't you that came in earlier?
Now I looked at this check and I was like, oh my God.
So now I'm out $2,000? She must have left you a number, right?
Okay.
Furious, Jennifer calls the phone number that Jocelyn left when she made the appointment. And surprisingly, Ed Anderton answers the phone.
And I said, I know who you are. And I know what you've done. And I know who she is. And I want my money.
I'm gonna get to the bottom of this.
And they immediately hung up.
Later that night, Jennifer Basikia receives a threatening text.
It said, hi, Jen Basikia. You don't know me, but I know who you are. I also know your nice place on, listed my address. And if I didn't back away now, that I was gonna have visitors at my door.
With their fraud exposed, are Ed and Jocelyn's crimes about to head down an even darker path? But instead of heeding their warning, Jennifer heads straight to the Philadelphia Police Department and Detective Terry Sweeney.
I assumed it was a petty, small crime. You know, it was a simple case of possible opportunism. They maybe took advantage of their neighbor leaving mail out. Something very haphazard. That was my first impression.
He sets up surveillance and determines that Jocelyn and Ed have a P.O. box under their victim's name. Not only that, but they have a parcel waiting for them. In no time at all, Jocelyn and Ed arrive to pick up the package.
Their arrogance was in full flow. They just literally were walking in to claim what they believed were their goods.
So, we don't have the package right now.
They are arrested on the spot. At the police station, stylist Jennifer Basikia identifies Jocelyn Kirsch as the woman who ripped her off.
I walk up to the door and I tap on the glass, and she looks up at me with her swollen black raccoon eyes from not sleeping all night and crying. And I said, who's knocking on whose door now? And she was pissed. But I got the last laugh.
In total, Jocelyn Kirsch and Ed Anderton stole over $100,000 and dozens of identities.
The only reason that there wasn't more victims in the building was the building wasn't at full occupancy.
In September 2008, Ed Anderton pleads guilty to conspiracy, identity theft, and bank fraud. He serves a 4-year sentence. On October 17, 2008, Jocelyn is sentenced to 5 years in federal prison.
I think that at the core of this story is a very troubled young woman who confused material goods and superficial things with self-esteem. And so she tried to amass as much of that stuff as she possibly could. But no matter how much of it she pulls in, it will never fill her up.
It's a void Jocelyn Kirsch is still trying to fill. In 2012, she was arrested again for shoplifting.